She's quick now. With that other bell. Hello you lot, how's it going? I've got this FTX Carnage here, look. I'm slowly doing some mods to it, you know, just for fun really, not necessarily trying to improve it, but maybe we will get some improvements on it at some point. Check this out, this is my old jump pack thing. It was, man, this must be about 10 years old now. This was good back in the day, but recently it's died on me, and the battery won't charge, and it won't turn on anymore. But this was a good thing, man. Need to invest in another one of these. Started up loads and loads of cars and vans and all sorts with this. Bloody good thing, and you could plug your phone into it and all sorts, charge it up. Never mind. So, I think what I'm going to do, I've got these wheels, look. I'm going to put these on here. I reckon that would look quite pretty cool. They're the same size. Haven't looked, but I would imagine the little nut in there would fit in there. Well, it should do. Not really a big fan of the rim, but I reckon that'd look alright, you know. I can always change it back. So let's put these on there and see how that looks. Have a look at this, you lot. I just printed this off for my dad. I might have to get some ink and print another one, but printer ink is a massive scam, so I'm trying to avoid buying it unless I really have to. But this is an old Atco ride-on lawnmower, and my dad's got it. It's from 1980, and but we're trying to get it to go properly at the moment. But I found this, we didn't have an instruction manual, so I managed to find this PDF on the internet, and I printed it off for him. But we've got everything we need in there. We've got belt tensions, belt numbers, everything. I just ordered a new float for the carb. The old float, here's the old float. Look, that thing got a hole in it, so it was filling up with petrol and it weren't floating anymore. For those of you that aren't familiar with carburetors on ordinary petrol engines, not all, some of them have a diaphragm, but most have a float. And the idea is that inside the carburetor there's a needle and seat here, and as the petrol rises up in the bowl, this float goes up like that, or actually more sort of like that, and then it pushes on the needle and seat here and it closes off the petrol. Anyway, that probably wasn't a very good example, but you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. But this needs to float, and because of that it doesn't. So I've ordered a new float, and I've got the instruction manual now. I've got a new gasket kit, a lot, so that will be being repaired soon. I might even make a video of that, put it on the other channel. Yeah, they're not like carburetors on Nitro engines, you know. These things, you can get lawnmower carbs that are like this, but these don't have any sort of float or any sort of anything at all really. The fuel literally just goes whoop, straight in and away we go. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt sort of thing, you know. But anyway, that's enough of that. Let's get these wheels on here. I think this is going to look so. This type of tyre I really like. I just think they look better than the other tyres. The only other tyre that I like is the Savage tyre. That's a good tread, pattern. I always lose that little bloody washer. Yeah, that's a good tread pattern, and probably the Rush. But other than that, oh yes, look at that. That is on there. Let's put that back on. Not that that's on properly. Where's the nut? I could just have one side that tyre and one side this tyre, couldn't I? Best of both worlds then. Best of grip and best of looks. No, I won't be doing that. Do you know, I think for me, I go through phases. You lot tell me like how it works with you, but I do tend to go through phases. So sometimes I prefer just the actual like equipment. So let's say for example this time the car, I prefer to the physicalness of it. So it's here. I like to look at it, you know, and I like to do, you know, modifications and stuff more than I actually do like driving them. But then I go through another phase where I have no interest in doing any repairs. I have no interest whatsoever in doing any mods. But I've got more interest in driving them around. I tend to go through little phases. You tell me in the comments what kind of phases you go through, or if you do go through any like that. It's always the same, even with, you know, like CB radio. I prefer the actual equipment than I do using it. You know, I enjoy talking to people around the world, but the actual physical equipment, I like setting it up. You know, setting it up, turning it on, you know, cleaning it, making it all look nice and spick and span, more than I do actually using it. Right. I can already see a problem. These wheels aren't going to work. They've obviously got a bigger offset, so I'm going to have, if I want to use these wheels, I'm going to have to get, I wonder if I've got any other wheels I could put on here. But if I want to use these wheels, I'm going to have to get different hubs. Yeah, I'm going to have to get extensions because this is shallower than this, so I would have to get either deeper, you look call them hexes, didn't you? Deeper hexes, so they're deeper, because what's happening is the outside of this here is hitting on the knuckle. That is exactly what's happening. Let me just check my little bag of wheels. I might have the same tread tyre but with a different rim. Let me just have a check. Well, I haven't got anything that's that size, so I could maybe, potentially, if I really wanted to, take the tyre off of there and the tyre off of here and put this tyre on this rim. Possibly. I mean, they look like the same size. I haven't measured them. I don't intend to measure them. I have no intention at all. But I could do that. But I'm not gonna. I'm gonna put these back on. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look to see if I can get deeper hex things, you know, or whatever the adapter is. I haven't looked. I know you're gonna put it in the comments, and I always appreciate your help. But I'm going to find whatever it is I need to find in order to put those wheels on here, and I'll get that done. The reason why I'm doing this now is because I want to take this out for a little blast tomorrow with that engine in it, and I want to see what it's like. I had it running the other day, and when it warmed up, it seemed to sort of not really want to run that well once it's warmed up. But I don't know if that's just because it needs, well, I do know kind of. I think it definitely needs a bit of a tune. But I wasn't really able to get a gauge of whether it was because it was running out of compression as it warmed up, or if it was because it just needs a tune, to be honest. So that's the plan. I'm going to give it a blast tomorrow, so I thought I'd play around with the wheels. I've got to find an air filter for it yet, because the one that was on it, on that engine, is this bigger one here, but it's got this sort of jerry-rigged smaller little intake thing jammed on there, so I might be able to find an air filter that would fit it, or I could possibly nick one off of a Rush to put on it temporarily, because they've got the same size Venturis on the carburetors. Let me get these wheels changed over and we'll have a look. What I forgot to do before I took them wheels off was I was going to have a look. I reckon, right, this body, oh, come on you stupid, that's it, this body would look awesome with those wheels and tyres. Definitely, that would look, well, you can't really get an idea of it now, but I reckon that would look brilliant. So once I do whatever I need to do to get those wheels and those tyres on here, I'll be running this body. This is a lovely body. Look at it, the detail in this. That Malcolm, he made this, painted it, cut it, done a lot, and detail in that is brilliant. Anyway, let's put that there. I think I've got to sort out an air filter for this if I remember. Oh, I haven't. I've already done an air filter. Oh, I don't remember doing that. That's because that's the air filter that was originally on the engine that I'd done the other day. I completely forgot all about that. Well, I could just leave that like that then, couldn't I? And this is pretty much run ready. I can just use this now. I never did find the screw for that side. I don't know where it is. It must be somewhere on the floor or run away somewhere. But 3 screws is more than enough to be using ample. I don't remember getting that many scratches on it when I used it though. Weird. Anyway, I'm really excited to be giving this a go. And it looks good with that shell on, doesn't it? It would look even better with those tyres. I'll have a look, see what I can do. I have got somebody, can't remember who, so my apologies. Somebody suggested that, well not suggested, they sent me a link to an exhaust pipe on wheelspin models. So I might get that in the future, but before I get any exhaust mods, I want to try and find a manifold as well. I want to try and find the whole set, because the manifold is just as important as the rest of the pipe. So I'm going to have, I haven't looked yet, so you know, by all means put in the comments to this video, but obviously by the time you see this video I might have looked, but still, comments are always handy. Other people learn as well as me. If you know where I can get a bigger bore exhaust pipe with this, you know, diameter, so obviously I want the bolt holes and all that to line up. So it's for an 18 engine obviously, but I want to try and find a bigger bore. You know, if anybody knows where I can get them, so I can get, and also I don't really want this fitting, whether they do them without it I don't know, but I want to try and get the whole exhaust system if I can, so the whole engine can just breathe better. Once I get that sorted out, I think I'm going to go like everything and do like a, I'm going to have one Carnage, this one that I've already started. I may or may not keep this engine. I'm not really decided yet whether I'm going to keep this engine or not in the car, because some people, including Bo, who I bought the other car from, this one, they want to see this running with that engine. And I kind of just took it out because I was like, oh, I want to put that in a Carnage. But, you know, I haven't really decided what I'm going to do yet. So, but I want to do one Carnage, which is like all modified, you know, just completely different to what it would be standard, with just all different upgraded parts, but not necessarily like aluminium parts and stuff. I'm on about performance. That's my thing, performance. So maybe this engine, maybe a different engine, a better clutch, a better flywheel, you know, vented bell end. We've already got a vented bell end on there. Maybe better servos, stuff like that, you know, definitely a better exhaust pipe, better air filter, maybe even a different carb, that sort of stuff. So I think this is going to be the modded one, and the other one's going to stay standard, and then we'll have a standard one and a modified Carnage. And I reckon that'll make a good series, because a lot of people like these Carnages, but I don't really see many people doing any performance. You get some people add a few aluminium things here and there, different tyres, different shell, but most of the time, because they're a cheap, well, they're not anymore, but they were, and they're still cheaper than proper brands. You know, they were a lower end Nitro car. A lot of people, you know, just get them and run them into the ground, get them dirty, don't bother cleaning them, just run them into the ground and forget about them, and when they break, sell them on as, oh, not working. So yeah, you have a bit of a modified one, I think, and I'm quite excited for it. So I'm trying to find a proper full exhaust system with a bigger bore, and be happy days with that. This engine should breathe nice, and this is quite a decent engine, but I think with a bit of a tune on it, it'll run a lot better than what it did the other day. Ah, I knew I had a better air filter for it somewhere. There it is. Lovely. Wonderful. Alright, so I'll mount that on there like that properly. And that's the intake side of things sorted, so we've got plenty of air going in. You know, it's not going to be restricted from breathing in. We just need to make sure it's not restricted breathing out. And so we've done half of it. But you see, you need to do the exhaust, because there's no point in getting more air and fuel in if you can't get it out. You know, you're better to do the exhaust first, so you can get what you have got out quicker. But if you can do both, that is the ultimate thing. But of course, if you get more air in and then you get more fumes or gas out, you need to be able to also get more fuel in. So we're not going to be restricted very much with this. This is a bigger well, it's not a bigger carburetor, but it seems to have a bigger Venturi. Whether it's got bigger, it won't have bigger needles in it, I don't know what I'm chatting about, but we'll be able to tune this to get as much fuel in as possible. So we're not limited there, but we could go with a bigger carburetor if we wanted to, or a better carburetor. But we'll be able to get as much fuel in as we can just by tuning it with the needles. We could go with a 3 needle carb if we really wanted to. We've got a 2 needle carb on this now. We could go with a 3 needle. I'm sure I'll better bodge one on there somehow. But there we go, we've got breathing sorted. And then we'll get breathing out sorted afterwards. I know I said don't do it afterwards, but what I mean is I don't have to worry about that, so I'll leave that till later. Run it like this. Once I get an exhaust, then I'll put that on. Anyway, I'm out of here now. I didn't have to do quite as much as I thought I was going to have to do. Well, I was hoping those wheels and tyres were going to fit, to be honest. Before I go for a little run around with this tomorrow, but it doesn't matter, they don't fit, so that's just fine. I'll sort that out. So tomorrow we'll have the maiden voyage of this engine. We'll see how the engine runs in general, and we'll see how it performs in this particular car. And also, I remember it's got more teeth on the old end of the bell there. So, you know, we'll see what the performance is like with this particular car. Very nice. Lovely. I'll see you lot tomorrow. Right, we are tomorrow. Look at this lovely car park. Let's get this beast out, shall we? And see what she's going to do. Hopefully, I'll have a nice little run with this little beast. Lovely little LRP engine. I'm quite excited to get a new exhaust and all that kind of stuff on it. Anyway, let's get this going. A little bit nippy today, but that's alright. Warms up during the day, but the morning's a little bit nippy. So, let's get going. Alright. There we go. So I had me, I think I told you a lot about a surprise party that I was throwing for the wife for her 10th wedding anniversary. And it all went perfectly. She had no idea. It was a surprise, but she had no idea. I took her out for a meal in the day while everyone was getting everything ready at the place where the surprise party was, and it was brilliant. She spent the whole time moaning at me about how bad of a father I am and how bad of a husband I am, and all the time I knew that she was going to have a surprise party, and when she got there she had no idea. Brilliant. Right, I've done the old look. A lot of you see, I don't like priming my finger over the exhaust, but everyone says do it with the throttle open. You see, what happens is if you've got the throttle open, you're creating more space for the fuel to go through. But see, there's no need to do that if you just take the pipe off and blow through it. But let's see. Let's do, nah, fuck that, and make it better. Let's make sure we've actually got glowage, which we should have. Let's check. And who goes out? I'll just glow. I don't think I'll bring a glow plug. I've got plenty of turbo plugs for Novas that I bring with me. I don't know why I bring them. Oh yeah, we've got glowage. I don't know if you can see that. Plenty of glowage, so that's not our issue. That means it's a fueling issue, which is easy to sort out. We sort that out, no problem. Little bit of chicken juice down there. Get jam sandwich. That's far too much. So I'll put a bit more in. Lovely. Right. Nearly going. Let the bastard warm up. She's quick now. With that other bell. Don't like warming up though, does she? Make sure she's warmed up properly before we adjust her. Oh. Well, let's try a bit of that. There wasn't any smoke, so the fact that there's nearly no smoke means it's probably a little bit lean, to be honest. It's hot now. We're richen it up a bit, and we're richen up the high. It's when she gets warm. It's alright when it's cold, not when it gets warm. Oops, no. Loads of smoke now. Goes on the high end. No torque. I don't think this engine's got a lot to give. rich now. Still not a lot of smoke though. Well, leaned her right up now. Still nothing there, look. And now we've run out. Well, we haven't run out, we just conked out. Well, I think it's fairly safe to say this engine's had it. I mean, well, there is compression there, but well, see, there's not a lot when it warms up, look. There's hardly anything there. There's hardly anything there, so I think it's safe to say this engine's had it. So it wasn't an improvement, in fact, in anything, it was a disprovement. So it wasn't very good at all, was it? But we'll try again, see what we can do. I leaned it up, richened it up, not a lot was there. The compression's nearly gone now, really, to be honest. Hardly anything there now. Just riching it up a bit. I leaned it quite a lot because I wanted to see if it made a difference. Is that it? She don't want to go no more. That's the end of the line, man. Well, there we go. That is that. That's quite unfortunate. But at least we know that that engine's not any good. I'll see if I can. I'll see if I can get a rebuild kit for it. We might rebuild it. Should better get piston sleeve fairly easily. I won't bother doing the rod or nothing like that. We'll have a look, see what prices are. But it'd be nice to rebuild it. That'd be fun. Nice. Well, there we go. At least we know that the engine, you know, if I'd have kept it in that Smartech truck, at least we know that it wouldn't have been any good anyway. So I will have a look, see if I can get. I've got a bit of free time actually while I wait to go to work, so I might have a look on the internet now while I wait. Have a look to see if I can find the piston and the sleeve. I might do a rod and a crank. I don't know. It depends how the bearings are. Depends how that looks, but it's the compression we've got to think about. So it's the rod and the piston and the sleeve. At least we'll get compression back. It's just because now it's warmed up, there's hardly any. Look, there is some, but it's hardly any. It's not enough. It could be that them bolts are loose actually on the head. That could be part of the problem, but I'm not going to delve into that right now. I have got the tools to do it, but I'm not going to. So anyway, that was a positive thing really, because that's what testing is all about. Well, that was lovely. That was truly lovely. Thanks for watching, you lot. If you want stickers, let me know. We'll try and sort them out. I've had sticker orders from all over the world at the moment, so it's been brilliant. I can post to USA and all of that, but there'll be some extra costs incurred, unfortunately. But I can do it, and I will do it. So if you want them, let me know. Yeah, lovely, man. I'm gonna have a look on the old interweb now. I've got about half hour. Oh, I've got an hour. I've got an hour to spare before I start work, so let's see if I can find the piston and the sleeves. And I'll catch you lot another day. Enjoy yourselves, love life, just love everything, because you know you're only here once, so just enjoy it while you're here. See you later on, you lot. All the best. Thanks again for watching.